putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Correct?
I believe that's correct.
I believe that no one in the United States has done more to undermine the belief in the United States democratic process than the Democrats and the press in some cases when they continue to report on false allegation after allegation after allegation. In fact, what you see from the Democrats is that they move from one allegation, that allegation is proven to be false, and they move to the next one, and they move to the next one, and they move to the next one because they're unhappy with the results of the election.
That was Raul Labrador talking to Rosenstein. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. I want to play one other clip. This is a guy from name is Jim Hines, and he's asking about the Russia probe and coordination. And what's interesting to me is that coordination between Fox and the White House. But what's interesting to me is as he's asking all these questions, he's acting as if there's been a stonewall on the Trump administration. Donald Jr. turned over all his stuff. I believe Kushner did. You couldn't get better cooperation between the White House and all of their surrogates. But look at what wasn't turned over. The stonewalling that was done by the Obama administration. Contempt of Congress from Eric Holder. And things like this. But I want you to hear him. And then, because you are going to hear the biggest crock of nonsense. And then I want to go back to discussing Horowitz when we come back from that. So here's the clip of Jim Hines.
Congressman Schiff also said the Republican leadership of your committee has prevented you from subpoenaing Trump Organization bank records. Why is that?
Well, there's been fights, and it's not only been with the Republican majority. You know, it has been with the actual witnesses themselves on the terms on which they will provide information. Remember, everything from, yes, there have been instances where the majority has pushed back, but then, of course, as you'll recall, the president's son, Don Jr., this was widely reported, decided he was going to claim attorney-client privilege in answering questions about conversations that he had with his father, despite the fact that there really is no attorney-client privilege when you're speaking with your father, even if there are lawyers in the room, and despite the fact that Congress traditionally has not acknowledged attorney-client privilege or any other privilege in its investigation. So yes, it is fair to say that in addition to the fear that this investigation, at the probably desire of the president, is at risk of being wrapped up before we can finish off our work, it is also true that there have been any number of speed bumps along the way in terms of getting the answers we need. And again, without in any way prejudicing our conclusions, you got to ask yourself, why? If everything is hunky-dory, if there is no wrongdoing, if everybody is innocent, why isn't everybody cooperating to get the information out in a timely, prudent, and effective way?
You think these attacks on the FBI, on Mueller, on the Justice Department are coordinated between the White House and let's say some on Fox News and others in the right-wing media?
Look, no question. And, you know, whether there's a hotline between the Oval Office and Fox News, I doubt that's true. But when the president is talking about the investigation and makes it very clear he wants them over and uses the words, do something, you know, people who will sell their souls, who will trade their integrity, who will betray their positions of trust in favor of supporting this man, and why you would choose to do that, I do not know, will do precisely that. And again, you know, people like Sean Hannity, who are throwing mud on the FBI, Jeanine Pirro, some of my colleagues. Can you imagine if Barack Obama had attacked the FBI, the protests in the streets we would have seen, the indictments, the investigations? And look, at the end of the day, Wolf, whatever you think of the president, when judges are attacked for their ethnicity, when the media, something that is annoying to politicians but essential to our democracy, is attacked by the president of the United States, our democracy is at risk. And the FBI, look, the FBI has a storied history. They haven't always done exactly the right thing. But when you are attacking the mechanism of justice of the United States of America, you are setting this country up for a place where no facts are true or false. Anybody can get away with any behavior at all. And we will have something that does not look in any way, shape, or form like the democracy that has been such a gift to all of us for a long period of time.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a long speech of nothing. It's the Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255. A long speech about nothing is exactly what that was. Coordination with Fox. I love how Wolf Blitzer sets it up. This coordination with Fox, the right-wing media. You mean the only one that's not fake news? And the guy goes on, he says, well, it's not like they've got a hotline between the president and Fox. No, because there isn't any coordination with Fox. The only thing that's going on is Fox occasionally actually promotes the right stuff. They promote the truth. But that's considered coordination on behalf of Wolf Blitzer. But we've got proven coordination against the left-wing media, if you will. Proven. Donna Brazile at CNN. We've got 65 journalists who they've got emails back and forth between the Hillary Clinton campaign. And these guys talk about coordination with Fox. That's just amazing to me. Then he goes on to say, does it betray positions of trust? It betrays positions of trust. As if Donald Trump is the one who sent out these emails from Peter Strzok and his paramour, the lady he's having an affair with, and all this other stuff. Everything we're uncovering has nothing to do with Donald Trump betraying trust. It has to do with the left betraying trust. And I'm chuckling because it amazes me that these guys try to sell this. They really want us to believe this. And you hear it enough to where you go, okay, so then what does he do? He goes backwards. Well, when judges are attacked because of their ethnicity, when he's referring to when Donald Trump said, you got a Mexican judge who's a leftist, who's going to sit in judgment of my immigration stuff, the comments that I've made regarding immigration, and Mexicans, and you don't want me to bring it up. See, the left is used to people going, well, look, so what? He's a Mexican judge and he doesn't like me. He hates me. He's an anti-Trumper. He'll still be fair. So what? Mueller has been dyed in the wool for the left for decades. Yeah, he'll treat me fair. So what? Comey has covered for the Clintons for decades. You know what? He'll treat me fair. All the attorneys, Peter Strzok and all the other attorneys that Mueller hired, well, they're going to see justice. They're not going to be unfair. Really? So then he talks about the media being attacked. He's got the nerve to bring up the media, for goodness sake. As if these attacks on the media by Donald Trump, well, he's attacking people that are, as I said before, when you bring up Mueller, he's unapproached. How could you? His character is unquestioned when it comes to the media. Their character is unquestioned. How could you dare impugn the media? Maybe because we've noticed that 90% of their articles and discussions are negative to Trump. All of your redactions and retractions are all about Donald Trump. They're never good. And they're all after the fact when you spread negative nonsense news. Is it a coincidence or is it a conspiracy? Coordinated, same language, same lexicon. And he goes on to say, doing all of these things is attacking the mechanism of justice. A leftist who knows in his heart of hearts that the FBI has been compromised. Jim Comey lied. We've got evidence on top of evidence. It wasn't just changing one thing in the document. It's multiple changes to soften the language, which means they were doing something to influence the outcome of that investigation, which, by the way, we don't want to call it an investigation. We want to call it an issue or whatever the terminology was that Loretta Lynch said. Let's call it a little thingy. Anyway, I want to go back to Horowitz. On the website, it says the mission of the Inspector General is to detect and deter waste, fraud, abuse, and misconduct in DOJ programs and personnel, and to promote economy and efficiency in department operations. So the man that we now trust to get to the bottom of the Russian investigation fraud is an Obama appointee, and in almost his 4 years, Horowitz served under Obama. He found nothing that amounted to waste, fraud, abuse, or misconduct by the DOJ. In Fast and Furious, the Arizona field office of the FBI, what they call ATFE now, allowed licensed gun dealers to sell illegal weapons. They supposedly wanted to track the arms into Mexico as part of a sting operation. And of the nearly 2,000 illegal guns that were sold between 2006 and 2011, only 700 or so were recovered. They ended up in the hands of drug cartels, I believe, so that Obama could cause enough insurrection the drug cartels to allow us to bring Mexicans over under an amnesty act. And the guns were used to kill FBI agents, and Horowitz found nothing to investigate. Now, he went on to say that the Obama administration made it increasingly difficult for Congress and inspectors general to uncover government misdeeds and access in various agencies. That was his testimony. So before we all panic, I'm not sure if this guy can be trusted. I'm going to leave that up to you to figure out.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.